Keen to share the story of my next guest. Sohail Ahmed from Kent had one of the most challenging starts in life, arriving in the UK as a refugee at the age of 12, travelling in the back of a lorry, leaving all of his family in Afghanistan behind. He didn't speak a word of English and he knew no one here. Fast forward 20 years and he is about to undertake a huge business venture. And Sohail is sitting right next to me. Before we get to the business venture and the success story, Sohail, who put you in the lorry? Who put you in the boat? How did you get here?
Hi, Alastair. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Well, it's been one hell of a journey. Who put me in a lorry? The people who got paid at that time.
Yeah.
Who were literally the smugglers taking people from point A to point B or whatever their destination.
And who did the paying? Family?
Yeah, well, basically,
your mum and dad?
My mum and dad couldn't afford to pay at that time because obviously times were hard, and my uncle volunteered to pay for me and obviously borrow money to my dad, and then later on I would then return the money when I had the money. So, which is what I did.
Yeah.
So it was a hard time, and grateful to be here.
Do you remember, I know hard time is a massive understatement, and you were 12. Do you still remember what it felt?
Oh yeah, Alistair, I can remember everything as it happened yesterday, And it's because of me remembering those times has made me the person who I am today, always hungry for success, always striving for better things, always trying to achieve more and more in life. It was a very, like you said, difficult is an understatement word, you know what I mean? And it was something that at that time, it was, how can I describe it? It was so real because it was happening, and it was like I was on a mission, you know what I mean? And I was on a mission to go somewhere safe, to go somewhere I could make a better future for myself, and then go back to my family and help them and trying to improve their life. So
we were just, while folk were listening to that, we were seeing some pictures of you as a young sportsman, and boxing was an important part of how you became the man you are now. I mean, not only boxing to defend yourself, and I know that's not allowed because it's a noble art and a sport and what have you, but it makes you a wee bit more useful. But you were laden down with medals.
Yeah.
How good were you?
Basically, the reason why I got into the combat sport in the first place was when I arrived to the UK, I was only 12, I just turned 12. I came in April 6th and my birthday was 25th of March. So just a few days after my birthday, I arrived to the UK. Can you imagine a kid who can't speak a word of English, doesn't have any friends, doesn't know the trend, doesn't know what's going on, he's like the odd sheep out or the black sheep or whatever you call it. So people used to pick on me and I used to get bullied, I used to get bullied. I had no friends. I was like the outsider. So I said, okay, for how long am I going to get beaten up? So I picked up martial arts, which was taekwondo at that time, and I went on to national champion, London champion a few times, and then Great Britain champion. I got into the GB squad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's me. When I was a kid, I was only 13 here. So I picked it up, and then before I know it, I was becoming good at it, and then I got invited to the GB squad to train there, and then there was no money, and obviously because I had no one to pay for me, and it was expensive, taekwondo is expensive.
Sure.
Going the trips, paying for your fees and everything. So I said, why don't I do a sport where I can get paid, and plus I can be good at it? So then that's when I made the switch to boxing at the age of 18.
So looking at where we are now, you're poised to launch a new business venture.
Yeah.
You're poised to do very well. You're sitting there in a beautiful suit and a beautiful shirt.
Thank you.
At what point, before you tell me about the detail of the business, because I genuinely want to know, you're not here to plug it, but you're here to talk about
absolutely.
it. I know that's right, but at what point did you get accepted?
You mean into the society? Well, to be honest with you, how I got accepted, how I felt I was accepted into the society was through sport. That made me feel part of a community because the people that I used to train with in that gym that I used to go, and I felt like part of that community, part of that group, and that's when I felt accepted. is when I competed, you know what I mean? When I start winning things and people start saying my name and they used to kind of, hey, shake my hand and stuff like that. That's when I felt like, yeah, you know, I belong here now.
Yeah.
And now, you know, this is home. You know, I love my cup of tea. You know, I love my fish and chips. I love my, you know what I mean? And I just, you know, I go for...
According to Penny Morden, it's pies that you've got to fall in love with more than anything else.
Absolutely.
To define your...
Pie mash,
your
that's
business.
right.
And again, we will come to the business in just a moment, but you said that the people who got the money they weren't your uncle or your mum and dad, but your uncle and your mum and dad paid them because they wanted to give you a break. Can you understand, having now been here for such a long time, why some of the people listening to this conversation will think that you shouldn't be here and that Priti Patel should be much tougher? I mean, I've had emails from people saying, I hope you report every day on this, that and the other about the number of illegals coming in. Do you understand that reaction, whether you think it's right or wrong?
I understand and I sympathize with them because, you know, there are people who do come to this country, don't really represent themselves well, don't really represent their culture well, their background or their upbringing well. I do understand. But you also have to look at it from the people who come here from their point of view, from their perspective. For example, if my country was safe, Afghanistan was safe, and there was no war, there was work, there was my family. Can you imagine, why would a parent send a 11-year-old kid to a country where there's no one? It's a strange country. He can't speak English. He doesn't have any friends. There is no guarantee that he will even make it. There's no guarantee whether he will turn out to be a drug addict, whether he will be successful, whether he be a failure. But they took that chance because any chance was better being in the war.
Yeah.
So they picked me, and I was lucky and I was privileged enough for them to pick me to be here. Yeah. So those people who think that, yeah, these people shouldn't come here. I mean, look, those people, obviously, I come into this country. I was one of them, the refugee kids coming
Yeah, but you were a kid when it happened. You were almost a puppet to what was going on around you. I mean, the other thing that critics would say, and it's a tricky one to argue against, is an awful lot of countries between Afghanistan and the United Kingdom, but there was a determination to come to the United Kingdom.
Yeah, there was a determination to the United Kingdom, absolutely, yeah, because the preferences. Some people don't care, as long as they're out somewhere safe. Yeah. I particularly wanted to come to UK because since I was a kid, I used to love English. I used to love speaking English. I said, one day, will it be possible one day for me to speak English? Will it be possible? Do you know what I mean? I used to see Big Ben. I was a kid. When Princess Diana passed away, I was like, I remember it. I was really young. I remember the funeral. I was watching on TV. I was like, wow, you know, this is amazing. You know, but obviously, yeah, people can understand why they come here. Why can't they just go anywhere else? But that's obviously comes down to the preferences of the people who come.
I made the point at the beginning that you are law-abiding, tax-paying, national insurance-paying citizen. Tell me about the business. What's going to be the next leap in your life?
Well, I'm still fighting professionally as a boxer. I've got a fight scheduled in.
If I'd known that at the beginning of the car, I thought you'd now retired from that.
No. I still fight. I've got a fight hopefully scheduled in July the 24th.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I just signed in with Frank Warren Management Company, Boxing Management Company, and I'm just about to launch a new fast food, casual dining restaurant in Fitzrovia. It's called Egoland.
Yes.
And you know, we're going to be employing about 10 to 12 people. Creating opportunities, creating you know, new wave and stuff like that, you know, something that people can benefit from. Obviously, I will be contributing to the country's economy, paying taxes, paying their national insurances, someone who came as a refugee, now doing my bit to give back.
Where did you learn to cook?
Well, like, you know, when I first came into the UK, I was desperate to work and earn some money to send back to my mum and dad. So I was working in a restaurant as washing dishes as a kid, as a child, on the weekend after my school and stuff. So that's my love, the love for the passion for food and the hospitality industry developed.
Have you paid them back now?
Pardon?
Have you paid them back?
Well, you know, absolutely. I think I have paid my parents back, and I have paid my uncle back, and you know, I hope my parents are proud of me, and you know, they're in a better place. They all live in Europe now. They're all secure. They're all safe.
Okay. Yeah. Final minute. You're a very bright guy.
Thank you.
And I put my cards on the table at the beginning. I admire what you've done, and a lot of people listening to our conversation will not, and that's absolutely fine. But you're about to become a successful businessman as well. If you had the chance to talk to Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, what would you suggest she should do that would make this problem less caustic and less challenging for her? Because there are a lot of voters and taxpayers who do not like the number of illegal immigrants who are coming into the country.
Well, look at it this way, Alistair, right? I mean, those kids who come to the country, right? I mean, when you sponsor a child, you sort of pay in towards their education, towards a certain point in their life, until they get to a stage where they start working and they start paying taxes. They pay back to the society. So don't look at it like as a burden. Create an opportunity or a platform for those kids to learn something, skills or education, so then they can later on go on to work in better jobs, or create opportunities for people who are jobless and contribute to the economy. So I would say don't be too hasty, I mean, like, okay, we don't want them, this, that, whatever. But instead of that, trying to take it in a positive way, and they say, okay, cool, we have these people now, they're here now, we have no choice.
Right.
Let's give them something better for them to benefit from.
Great to talk to you. Great to meet you. Thank you very much indeed. That is all from me today. I do hope that you've enjoyed keeping me company. If you disagree with every single word you've just heard or anything else, let me know. I'll be back here, right here, at 12 tomorrow. Until then, a very good afternoon to you. Bye-bye.